We begin with another devastating natural disaster in North Africa. Just days after the deadly earthquake in Morocco, Libya is now coping with major flooding that has wiped out entire villages and reportedly killed thousands of people. Video from the region, you can see it there, shows buildings collapsed, cars submerged, torrents of water rushing through the streets. The Libyan National Army and a health official say more than 2,000 people are dead, 5,000 to 6,000 missing. Now, of course, it's impossible to verify those numbers as many areas are still unreachable and without communication. The city of Derna was especially hard hit. Authorities say 2 dams collapsed, 3 bridges were destroyed, and phone lines remain down. The storm system dumped about 8 months worth of rain on the region in just a single day. It caused catastrophic flooding in Greece just last week. The pictures are just staggering. We go live now to CNN's Eleni Giokos, who's been following developments for us from Dubai. Now, shockingly, the head of Libya's emergency and ambulance service has admitted to CNN that there was no warning for people, no warning to evacuate, to get to higher ground, or to really understand what was coming at them.
And you know, those emergency services also said that there was just lack of preparedness, that weather conditions weren't studied. There wasn't an understanding of the sea levels rising and just what the storm could mean. And of course, many are asking about negligence in this situation. People woke up in the middle of the night when the storm hit, seeing their homes flooded, some say up to 3 meters, and then desperately trying to find a way to get out. And of course, with seeing these images of just water everywhere, cars were swept away, people swept away. So many areas are now isolated, making it very difficult for search and rescue teams to try and figure out who they need to save and what is the next process. I mean, some of the search and rescue teams can't even get access and communications up with teams that are currently on the ground. So we're talking about immense catastrophe here, exacerbating the situation. You have 2 dams that were burst in where we're seeing now the epicenter of the big tragedy in the city of Derna. And that, of course, causing more pressure, water coming through, filling up the valley, causing more catastrophe. I mean, what it seems like, you've got roads that are basically and homes that are melting away with this water. Authorities are telling us there are still bodies lying around. So when we say that the death toll now is over 2,000, difficult to ascertain the number at this point in time. Between 5,000 and 6,000 people, Paul, is still missing. You've got the UN on the ground, Turkey, UAE, as well as Qatar, sending assistance. Storm Daniel causing havoc, not only now what we've seen in Libya, but also in Greece and Turkey just a few days ago. And now moving towards northern Egypt, the next 2 days, they're expecting an extra 50 millimeters of rainfall. To understand sort of what kind of rainfall the city of Derna has in the month of September, it barely gets to 10 millimeters. So we're talking about numbers that haven't been seen and felt before. Right now, search and rescue is the most important thing to try and get access to people. Phone lines are down, internet is down, power lines are down, making it a lot more difficult for the people there.
I mean, look, the pictures that we're seeing are simply shocking. And again, it seems that the devastation is widespread. Eleni, what more can anyone do here in terms of trying to coordinate aid to this country? I mean, Libya has been in turmoil politically for quite some time.
Exactly, it has. And, you know, the question is there a centralized system where, you know, both the East and the West can be in communication to figure out the next steps here? You've got to remember that the East is controlled by the Libyan National Army, and then the West is controlled by an internationally recognized government. Both of these factions have been vying for power for a very long time. So clearly a disconnect in communication here. What we do know is the West has declared 3 days of mourning. Clearly this happening in a country that has a lot of political turmoil, but at a time where they need to come together to try and figure out the next steps here. The fact that we've already got international cooperation is a step forward, but a lot more, Paula, is needed because search and rescue is still on. Catastrophe is going to continue for at least the next 2 days, and then the question then becomes the cleanup after. But of course, that would be the aftermath of this, as you say, apocalyptic scenario that is playing out, where villages, and we're talking about Derna here, but you've had Benghazi hit, you've got another city, Jabal al-Aqdar, as well being impacted, and other villages entirely swept away and underwater as we speak.
Yeah, this would be like a large storm hitting the United States, large hurricane, and no one getting any warning whatsoever, and it's just slamming into shore. Eleni Giokos, I know you'll continue to follow this story for us. Appreciate it.